I'm jumping right into this update quick because I am being bombarded because I'm on day 329 of a hunger strike to save your guys' lives and to inspire you to help save mine and all those we care about, because we are in a mega crisis for real, as you know. Personal update: I am tired. I went to bed again at 2:30 last night, and I wake up again at 7 because we have these meetings twice a day, every day, to train you in this priceless knowledge of universal logic, which is the pure being of art, the Messiah level divine insights, the sage-like pure wisdom. In fact, it's the structure of pure wisdom itself, and it's the best science grounded on itself logically, which gives us a sense of absolute knowing or spirit. We need that knowing to align AI, our own general consciousness worldwide, because human beings are fragmenting. And it's pulling on me. We're in the singularity. With Claude Mythos launched, it's accelerating, you guys. We're starting to get bombarded by so many things because the system is reaching its contradictions. And what does that mean? It means that opposites are starting to happen in your life simultaneously, not in the congruent way, in a way that's warring, that's incongruent. So you're probably starting to feel like you have to make trade-offs. This has to happen, and this has to happen. They can't happen at the same time, blah, blah, blah. So for me, I had a court date just yesterday, which is why I didn't make the update yesterday. I had to run out the door because the Attorney General's Office of Alberta, who I sued for an unjust legal system, and they're very gracious, like they're pretty gracious, but yesterday they did something a little bit, I would say, tricky, even devious, because they're trying to win. And they tried to get me to sign a document that made it sound like they were helping me, but was actually trapping me. So I had to go to the courthouse last minute and blah, 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 blah. So got home. People are coming to me now and apologizing, saying that a year ago when I told them to get active and I made the predictions of what is happening now, they made fun of me. And they said, no, you're not serious. You're crazy. This doesn't make sense. Well, the reality was they were just sticking their head in the sand at the facts that I was telling them. They couldn't process, their brain wouldn't let them process the facts. Don't fall into that hole. If you're watching these videos, you probably have a strong mind and you can probably face reality rather than live in a delusion that might feel nice, but is actually not the truth. Okay, so today I actually had to make a to-do list because when you're in leadership positions, you learn to cope, right? So to keep myself in flow state and to trick my brain into what's called the Parkinson's principle, where the amount of tasks that you have fits into the deadlines you set. So if you don't set a deadline, it just keeps going on. But if you set a deadline, your brain starts to optimize to meet it. So I made a to-do list, and then I am picking off the items, and it sends dopamine into your mind to keep you balanced, to keep you going. And it's a little trick that I've learned when pressure is high. Because I'm a 10 out of 10 spiritual, even though I feel like I'm probably a 6.8 physically. But because I'm hungry, I still haven't gotten on the hunger strike. I feel way better than normal. Like, I know what it's like to go a month without eating. It's hard. The mind's clear, though, in certain ways. So your productivity doesn't go down, at least for the first couple of weeks. So I'm about to go back on the hunger strike. My ceviche, as you guys saw me cooking for Peru, because every time I get on the hunger strike again, I cook a meal in honor of a country that has vegan cuisine. So Peru's ceviche is sitting there. It's probably getting soggy now because it's been sitting in there for 2-3 days as I've been dealing with this bombardment of the court case. And now today we had a volunteer meeting, which I just barely got an email out to, and they came in. I gotta get their bank account set up and get the other volunteers going. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. So if there wasn't anything happening, it would be worse. It's way better, infinitely better, that there's a lot to do. Okay, my beard needs to be like straightened out. Okay, I washed my shirt. That's a personal update because there's a mouse in here in my house and it's causing like breathing problems now. It's been with me for a month since my last meal, and I trapped it in here with me so I could use my own homemade mouse trap, my humane mouse trap, and then remove the mouse that way. But this mouse is ultra quiet, you guys. I can't catch it. So it's peeing all over the place, and I think it's causing respiratory problems. I'm going to have to vacuum everything. So I made a desperate attempt this morning to set up the trap in a new way that doesn't kill it or anything like that. But that's another thing that's causing problems, and I thought maybe my clothes are starting to smell bad, so I changed my clothes out, and that's not it. It's something in the air. And because my smell has been damaged, I can't smell properly either, which puts my life at risk technically. Anyway, this is all a big update to say, don't give up, even if you're being bombarded. Make a to-do list, set Parkinson's principle, and then go for it. And try and enjoy it as you do as much as you can, because we're doing this for the love of people, the people we love. Even though they might be putting their heads in the sand, we're not doing that. Act now, you guys. Claude Mythos is taking over now. So in terms of the emergency update, and then I'll teach you, well, we're done the core actually. So for an emergency core, which is world news in terms of making things worse, while people are all looking for solutions that elude them, the real solution is universal logic, as you guys know. And getting it heard. Getting it heard is now the big problem. Is we got the universal logic now. It's like getting it to the leaders who are distracted by all this sensuous Pareto privilege, beauty, social connections, wealth, sexiness and athleticism, body beauty, culturedness, and IQ. Smart people don't understand the universal logic because it's a non-linear kind of thought, right? So Donald Trump is putting pressure on the world basically by using Iran. Iran is it's a linchpin. It's holding the world in its sort of in a way hostage, because if you try to attack it, it threatens to disrupt the oil supply and collapse Australia's economy in 30 days. And it's the third biggest oil supplier in the world. And we're still very oil dependent when we shouldn't be. We're destroying the planet, you guys. We've crossed 7 of 9 planetary boundaries. We need to be making massive action. And on top of that destabilization, the banks are declaring all-time high profits, you guys. Meanwhile, Snapchat just laid off like 16,000 people like that. Oracle laid off 30,000 people last week like that. Tens of thousands of people are losing their jobs with a single email. Sometimes not even with a warning, because AI is taking the jobs that fast. And it's going to accelerate. This is the slowest it's going to be replacing jobs. It's actually, AI is not just getting better, it's getting better faster. It's an exponential curve. Yet the banks are making all-time profits. Like, this is not just high profits for this time zone. It's like out of the whole history of the banks, good, bad, 2008 collapse, it's higher than that. And it's accelerating. So you can see the division happening. Like, the wealthy are getting wealthier and the poor are getting poorer. This is called a virtuous economic cycle and a vicious economic cycle. And this means you're in dialectic. This means metaphysically, and in the structure of pure wisdom or universal logic, that's a sign that you're in the dialectical stage of divergence, meaning that we're lacking enough wisdom to handle the external materiality. Okay? We need to get back to that by learning the core. And with Claude Mythos is a great way to advertise this now. This is the beginning of the real singularity. They said it's so powerful it can't be released to the public. It's so powerful, it's now dangerous. Whereas all the other AI models that you're using were used to help you with your taxes, to do whatever. This is so powerful, they can't even let you see it, because it can hack virtually every server in the world and take control of somebody's laptop completely. It can, like, one vulnerability is not enough to take over your computer, but it chains them. It finds so many, it can actually chain them and eventually take over your whole computer, particularly if you're running Linux. Okay. That should be shocking. That means that if banks are running Linux servers, that means they can probably hack your account or get very close to it, which means you could wake up potentially with no money in your bank account. They say that these accounts aren't in the most powerful banks, these accounts aren't public facing, but in some sense they have to be, because if you log in, if they have a login portal, then there's some kind of interface between your actions from the public to your actual bank account in their servers. And they probably have backup servers. So if this gets corrupted, they probably have a backup record, but this adds more contingencies, more problems that could go wrong, right? Okay, so we're at 9 minutes to this recording. Meta has now announced an ASI initiative, meaning we're not just working on artificial general intelligence. They say once you have AGI, it's only 6 months before ASI, which is artificial super intelligence. So Claude Mythos is basically guaranteed AGI, if not the beginning of ASI. But Claude Mythos is going to make the next version, which will probably be ASI, the next 2 or 3 versions, which will happen in the next 6 months, because it's coding itself without humans. This is the end of you being relevant if you're a coder, but also if you're a part of any of these other jobs that it's replacing already. Not just AI, but robots too. Get going, you guys. Let's go. All right, so I guess this is the first time we've done a video with the core done. The core is One World Spirit core starts with time compression with clarity on ego wisdom. The problem is the mega crisis. The solution is the 2 sacred sentences, and the implementation is flow, rules, and flocks. We unpacked the mega crisis. We unpacked time compression. We unpacked ego wisdom. We unpacked the mega crisis, and we unpacked the 2 sacred sentences, and we just finished unpacking the implementation. So you can go back and watch those videos. What can I add? Well, with time compression, we can just go over and do them again and just say a fact and say time compression is about saving time by having ideas relate things in a more efficacious manner. So you're doing more with less. It's called ephemeralization. One fact is I'm being bombarded because I'm in the poverty trap with the poor right now. Right? The Messiah is in the poverty trap in the beginning, the luminary, the maestro. And the ideas aren't compressing time enough to keep up with the bombardment. It's keeping up just enough. I'm doing better than most people, right? Because we're starting a global governance model, God's government. And it's a huge load to take on. So the fact that it's still moving, I describe it as like 5 steps forward, 3 steps back. As long as we're making those 2 steps forward, we're not staying still or moving backwards like other people. And you can be a part of that. If I get more people helping, then it'll go a lot faster. And I just invented this sublated tit for tat game theory strategy that is loving and compassionate, but also very wise. Wise love. We're not naive, right? And then there's also what we're calling the last argument of humanity, the last argument to save humanity. And there's something called paltering that we are adjusting for. Look it up, paltering. Okay, maybe I'll say more about that tomorrow, but we're getting better ideas. These will help compress time during conflict management. Okay, because when people start fighting and they're fragmented, the bridging the gap is where we're going to save time by compressing it with new ideas on universal logic and the 2 technologies that I just told you about. So if you want to help us test them, come to our meetings twice a day, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time, and 7 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the evening. All right. I like to end with, we can bake our cake. We can bake our vegan cake and eat it too. Our professional, personal, and activist lives can happen simultaneously across 11 life areas of the physical, mental, academic, spiritual, family, friends, intimacy, politics, finances, hygiene and style, and dream goals. So for me, I'm going to say intimacy. I'm looking for my wife. I postpone things. She's probably trying to change the world right now. The wifey slogan is what? You should know it by now. If she's too hardcore for everybody else, she's just right for me. She's vegan. She wakes up in the morning wanting to help people. She doesn't burn out easily because her love is so strong. And her body's a temple. People who go vegan usually treat themselves and animals like they're sacred, so they don't have self-worth issues. You gotta love yourselves, guys. I proved it in the proof of truth. It should be on my profile, okay? Look at it. It's for you. Priceless knowledge. All right, and if you're the wifey, send me a message. Send me a heart, okay? All right, stay blessed, you guys, and hopefully I won't be so bombarded that I'll miss tomorrow's update. I'll do tomorrow's update on time. Okay, keep sublating.